All right, so I was gonna do this live tomorrow next year, but well, I thought I was gonna be asleep, but it seems like this house is not about to go to sleep until next year. So let's make it do what it does. First, so we're gonna do the missing flyers, missing anniversary first. And then we're gonna look at some cases from 2022. Right, let me reset this to the right. That's too big. Okay, so missing anniversaries first. Here we have from New Year's Eve last year. Happy New Year, Sherry. I changed my mind and decided to hop on here anyway. Um, have Anthony Holly, and he is missing from Columbia, South Carolina. I wish they had some better photos of him. Like both of these look like they were taken with a potato, but I guess we can see it clearly enough to like recognize him. I think I'd recognize him from this picture if I saw him. But he is missing from Columbia, South Carolina. His date of birth is September 22nd, 2005. He is 17 years old now, a biracial male with brown eyes and brown hair, standing 5'9", 135 pounds. Is the sound okay? Because I don't have my headset. I can't find it anywhere, so I'm just using the built-in mic. All right. Says both photos shown are of Anthony. He was last seen on December 31st, 2021. Anthony may still be in the local area. When he was last seen, he had dark brown dreadlocks. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I thought I was going to be asleep by now. He had dark brown dreadlocks that were dyed blonde on the tips. Anthony is biracial. He is black and white. Thanks for the sound check, Sherry. Now, if you see him, you can immediately call 911. You can dial 1-800-843-5678 or 1-800 The Lost. Or you can contact the Richland County Sheriff's Office, South Carolina at 803-576-3000. 1-800 The Lost, I would only advise calling that if you like have old information. Maybe he was hanging out at your friend's house 2 or 3 months ago or whatever. But if you see him, like you got eyes on him now, I would suggest that you call 911. Otherwise, call the sheriff's office. And again, that is Anthony Holly. Cute little dude he is. And next up is we're going to get into some cases from over the course of the year after the missing anniversaries. So here we have Heaven Booze. Heaven Booze. She is missing from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Her birthday is June 2nd, 2006. Here, he is cute. 2006. She is 16 years old now, a biracial female with black hair, hazel eyes, stands 5 feet tall, 170 pounds. She may be in the company of other juveniles, but may still be in the local area or may have traveled to other cities in Oklahoma. Heaven is biracial. She is Hispanic and white. Looks like she's a little thinner in this picture too. And I see she has a nose ring and it looks like a piercing here, whatever they call that piercing. So if you have any information about her, please call 911, 1-800-LOST, or contact the Tulsa Police Department at 918-596-9222. That is Heaven Booze. All right, next up. And we have this one that we're about to do now, and then two others. There were only a total of 5 missing anniversaries shown on NCMEC. This is Madison Griffin. She's missing from Baltimore, Maryland. Her birthday is December 18th, 2005, so she just recently had a birthday. She is 17 years old, a biracial female with black hair and brown eyes, standing 5'5", weighing 243 pounds. Madison was last seen on December 31st, 2021. She may still be in the local area. She is biracial. She is black and white. Madison may use the alias date of birth of 12/8/05. If you see Madison or you know where she is, please call 911. I'm trying to get this to where her picture is still showing, but I can see this information too. Please call 911, 1-800 The Lost, or Baltimore Police Department in Maryland at 410-396-2488. Madison Griffin, now 17 years old. And next we have Chalaya DeVos. I think I'm saying her name right. Chalaya DeVos. She is so pretty. She has the most beautiful eyes and smile. Um, she is missing since New Year's Eve of last year. She is missing from Ocoee, Florida. Her date of birth is April 20th, 2005. She is currently 17 years old. A black female with black hair and brown eyes, standing 5'5", 150 pounds. And if you know anything about her disappearance or her whereabouts, please call 911, 1-800 The Lost, or the Winter Garden Police Department in Florida at 407-656-3636. That is a beautiful child. Okay, last but not least, we have Ayeve Jones. I want to say I said that right. Ayeve Jones, missing from New Year's Eve last year from Bastrop, Texas. Her date of birth is July 6th, 2006. She is currently 16 years old. She is a black female with black hair and brown eyes, standing 4'11", 145 pounds. This photo is very blurry, but they did know that this is the only photo they have available. If you have any information about her whereabouts or the circumstances of her disappearance, please call 911, 1-800 The Lost, or the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office in Texas at 512-549-5110. Ayeve Jones, Bastrop, Texas. So, for the New Year's Eve, I I was actually trying to find the Pelican drop in Pensacola. It's kind of like the New York Times ball drop, except it's like a giant pelican, and I think I would be able to stream that without any type of copyright issues. Um, Before we go too much further, I'm gonna check again to see if maybe they're live streaming it on. Let me see. See if they're live streaming it tonight, and then if they are, we can watch that. And the crazy thing is, I've never been to the Pelican Drop. Pensacola native, never been to the Pelican Drop. Oh yeah, you're like an hour ahead. Okay, so I don't want news and weather. And I guess not. I don't see any live section. They used to have a live section on this news channel. Okay. Well, there's that. Let me search it. I'm on their website. Pelican Drop. I'm on the local news website for Pensacola to see if they have anything on. Nope, sorry, says sorry, your search results matched 0. We will not be watching the Pelican Drop tonight. So I guess we're gonna just kind of look at some cases from last year. from the last this last year. Some of these are going to be actually from 2022, but some of them are cases that had like a major something happen in them in 2022, like the boy in the box who was finally identified after all these years. So let me get this screen up for you. If I can find my mouse, where's my mouse? Hey, I need to see you. Okay, my mouse not working. Why so? Okay, my whole computer stopped working. Not sure what's going on with this. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or what, but everything is frozen. So I'm going to give it a minute here for the simple fact that there's not really anything else that I can do. Okay, there we go. Unfroze. Whole system froze up. So I don't know what part of what I said you heard, but I can't find the pelican drop. Are you serious right now? All right, I gotta find what I've done because lately it's been doing that, and I think it might be one of the new programs that I installed. So I'm gonna probably spend my first week of the new year backtracking myself and figuring out how I slowed down my computer. All right. So the first one that we're gonna look at, and I'm gonna do this one because it's really the most recent. Oh, here we go again. Okie dokie. Any day now, computer. All right. I guess we're back. Enjoy Happy New Year 23. Please act right for me. Yeah, but I gotta go there and figure out what I did. The first one that we're gonna look at, because it's pretty much the latest major update that came out on a 2022 case, is Lucien Mungia. It was sad news, and I know that a lot of us were really hoping for the best in this situation, that he would be found safe and well. But it says 5-year-old boy reported missing in September, found dead in says Yakima Police Department. Yakima Police Department announced Friday that a body found Thursday in the Yakima River is that of 5-year-old Lucien Mungia, a boy who was reported missing after last being seen at Yakima's Sarge Hubbard Park in September. According to police, Yakima County Sheriff's deputies were called to the area of Yakima Valley Highway and Burke Road on Thursday for reports of human remains found in the Yakima River. Um, wow. The only good news in this whole situation is that police said there is no indication that criminal acts led to Mungia's death. So at least we know that Lucien was not looking in the face of someone who was supposed to love him, wondering why they were hurting him. We know that no one did anything, and this was really just a child who wandered off. Yakima, gotcha. Um, so sad news, but at least the relief of knowing that he was not like hurt or abused or anything like that, um, to lead to his death. And I do not have the screen shared. Let's see. Share a window. I'm just going to share the window since it won't pull up any sound because I don't think any of these have videos or anything that I want to share anyway. So the next thing is this is Madalena, Madalena Kojakari. And there's really not any updates on this story, but I just wanted to put her name, out there and remember her before we get into the new year. To keep our minds on her. Such beautiful pictures she took. Let's see if I can get them to show up. There we go. And I noticed that in a lot of her pictures, she has her arms up and spread out like she's just ready to embrace the entire world. So that is Madalena Kojakari. The only news really in that case is that the search warrants have been temporarily sealed by a judge, and hopefully they will be unsealed relatively quickly, without posing a danger or a threat to the investigation. Um, Only because I think if we kind of know what's in the search warrants, we as creators and sleuths and whatever we may be and advocates can kind of form a little more of a clear picture of what may have happened based on what the police were searching for. And I still find it odd that they were digging in the front yard. Like, if they had said they were digging in the backyard, that kind of would have made sense because the neighbors reported them having like a bonfire or whatever and black smoke from where they were burning like couch cushions and different things. So it would make sense to me if they were digging up in the backyard, but for them to dig in the front yard, it just seems really weird to me because the front yard is usually so exposed. Like, would they have attempted to bury something in the front yard? I don't know. But if you have any information, if you think you know anything about Madalena, if you think you saw her, if you believe you ran across her parents during the time period from what, November 21st until now, until they were arrested, please, please, please call the FBI at 800 call FBI if you think you know anything, because every little bit helps, especially in a situation like this where there's really no leads, there's really no clues. The police say they followed up on almost 300 tips, about 250 door knocks in the area where she used to live. Just, it's so frustrating because it seems like they're just constantly coming up nothing. And the fact that the parents had pretty much a 3 week head start, almost a month, to kind of tie up loose ends. You're right, Jerry. That thought actually fleetingly crossed my mind. Were they trying to outwit the police by doing something in the front yard as opposed to the backyard? But I don't think they're bright enough to do that. They could. I could be wrong though. They just don't seem like they're that. I can't think of the word of cunning, sly. Of course, I haven't really seen a good picture of the front of their house. Maybe they have flower beds because sometimes flower beds. So yeah, either way, I really am looking forward to getting some more information and prayerfully this young lady found safe in the coming year. There was one thing that I saw on Facebook that I wanted to share. Why is it moving so slow? I think it must be the Google Chrome browser because it seems like it freezes up every time I'm trying to do something with the Google Chrome browser. Okay, so let me see. Is this it? Someone had put together a list of all the places that the stepfather had worked, and I had it up here, but you know how sometimes you switch tabs and it'll refresh it. So it's pretty much taking me back to the beginning of the posts. But I will definitely make sure to copy the URL when I find it again. But someone in one of the groups posted a long, very apparently very well researched list of all the places that the stepfather had worked, what his position was within each company, different cities that he worked in, and supposedly assuming that he lived in the cities in which he works. If that's the case, this dude bounces around. Like, I don't see how he could. I don't know if that means that he was a bad worker and he was getting fired or getting pressured out of the company, and so he had to find somewhere else to go, or maybe he was moving around for a better deal. You know, I'm working here, I'm making X amount, this benefit, but if I go over there, they're adding this to the package or something. So I don't know if he's just a bad worker who was constantly having to try to find a new job, or if he was someone with aspirations, and so he was constantly trying to climb the ladder by moving to better and better positions. No clue. I did do some research on the type of work that he does. He does corporate graphics systems. And I believe the original news article that we read titled him as an engineer. Although the person who did the list on here that I can't find right now had him marked down as a designer. But he was listed as an engineer. So I looked up that position and how much they make. A lot of people are saying these people don't have money, this, that, and the other thing. But in the position that he was working, the average salary ran somewhere between $45,000 and $75,000 a year. But a lot of places, and I believe, what is the name of the website? Is it salary.com? But it's one of those websites where you can go and see like average salaries for different positions.
Hey,
Huh?
live?
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, before I was interrupted, it's one of the websites where you can look up the salaries for different positions. You type them in, and it tells you how much the average is in different parts of the country and different known organizations like AT&T, blah blah blah. Well, some of them said that he could possibly be making as much as $145,000 a year. So let's see. You said I moved jobs like that the last 2 years. I'm making 15,000 more a year than I was in 2020. Now, see, that would make sense if he was moving around to improve his income or benefits. I really wish I could find the list. I can't remember if I'm gonna find it though, and we'll go over it when I do. But I lost my whole train of thought. I don't think she listed on there like how long he worked at each company. It doesn't seem like she wrote anything about length of time on the job, just the job and the city and the position that he held within the company. Anyway, I will find that and we'll get back to it. And this article, I just had a couple of things highlighted, like two little passages, because they kind of put some more. You know, I'll be looking for the little tidbits in these articles, because we read one place and they'll have so much information, but then we go and find another article that mentions something more that puts a new light on it. And so I found a couple of things in this article. It says neighbors are now coming forward with chilling tales of strange incidents that occurred around the time of Madalena's disappearance. Doesn't really go into any detail about what the neighbors are coming forth about, but the fact that people are now starting to talk, that's the first time I've pretty much seen that mentioned. And but the fact that people are starting to talk gives me hope that something someone says will, you know, spark a memory, be a sufficient clue, give the police a hunch or something. Now, apparently, Madalena's grandfather from Moldova has spoken out. So I highlighted this section because I haven't seen anywhere where her maternal family has spoken except for this. It says grandfather speaks. Victor Kojakari, the girl's grandfather who lives in Moldova, told TVEN he last spoke to Madalena's mother, Diana Kojakari, 37, in October. So that's a month to almost 2 months, like a month and 3 weeks time span there from the last time that he talked to her to the time that Madalena disappeared. The grandfather said he also occasionally got to speak with Madalena, who knows a little bit of Romanian, the primary language in Moldovan. And I was glad to find that little bit of information because I did wonder out loud in my other live as to whether English was Madalena's first language or second language. Was she fluent in it, or did she struggle? Because that could play a role in whatever happened with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, if by some far fetched miracle it turns out that she actually did leave and is hanging out with friends, you know, her level of ability to communicate in English, I think will play a big part in that. I kind of lost my train of thought somewhere in there and I was fishing for it. Yeah. Anyway, although he said the mother and daughter seemed happy, Victor claimed Diana could only call when her husband was out of the house. Paul Miter was reportedly against her staying in touch with her Moldovan relatives. Okay, so she was only 5 when they moved here. So she's only been here, what, about 6 years? I think under those circumstances, I might want to say that English is her first language, just because it's the one that she would have had most exposure to. This part stands out to me because I keep saying she might be in one of those situations where he went and married a foreign woman so that he can control her, where she goes, who she speaks to. And apparently that's exactly what's going on because the grandfather said Diana could only call them when he was out of the house because he didn't want her to keep in touch with her Moldovan relatives. So there you have him actively attempting to alienate her from her support system. According to court documents, Madalena's mother said she didn't report Madalena missing for nearly a month because she worried it could cause a conflict with Paul Miter. Again, there's that fear, there's that controlling, there's that she's under thumb. Remember I talked about the neighbor who was married to a Filipino woman, and the Filipino woman had a daughter, and they seemed like whenever they went to make a move outside of the house, which was never without him. I've never seen the mother and the daughter leave together alone to go somewhere. It's always him taking the daughter somewhere or him taking the mother and the daughter somewhere. And they always act like he'd open the door would be open to their apartment, but it's like they were waiting for permission to step outside, then waiting for permission to get into the car, constantly looking to him like, is it okay if I do this? And so that's why I kind of say I feel like something like that might be at play in the relationship between Diana and Christopher. So, says Madalena's grandfather, however, alleges her stepdad kidnapped Madalena. Paul Miter drove to see family in Michigan the day after she went missing. Now, time frames keep getting mixed up here about when did he leave. Was it before or after she went to bed? What date? Did he leave the night of the argument or did he leave the next morning after the argument? And yeah, I really do think so, Sherry. I really think that that's what's going on. But I'm going to be glad when some more information comes in to really nail down the timeline, because this timeline is kind of shooting off in different directions. They argued, Diana and Christopher argued on the 23rd. He leaves the house on the night of the 23rd to drive to Michigan. The night of the 23rd at 10 p.m. is the last time that the mother says she saw her daughter. Her daughter was going to bed, fully dressed with shoes on. The next day on the 24th, at about 11:30, she discovers her daughter is missing. That's one timeline interpretation. Then they argued on the 23rd. The mother saw Madalena going to bed around 10 p.m., fully dressed with shoes on. Christopher leaves on the 24th to take this road trip, and the 24th at 11:30 is when the mother discovers that Madalena is missing. So there's like little things in the timeline that keep getting kind of shuffled around that I really want to nail down. Y'all want to tell everybody Happy New Year?
Happy New Year! Why is Happy New Year, sir?
You're so silly.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year from Tato, Gabby, and Bubby.
Which is not here.
She'll be here in a minute. I guarantee you.
That minute is no minute. Get it?
Mm.
Exactly.
Okay, now let me finish what I was doing. Go get you some drink. There's sodas in the refrigerator.
Bye.
Gabby says bye.
Bye, guys.
Tato says bye. Oh, and here comes Bubby. Bubby, you want to tell everybody Happy New Year?
Bye, Happy New Year.
She said bye, Happy New Year. Okay. All right. But yeah, there's some things that I want to get nailed down in that timeline because they keep going back and forth and there's like one interpretation of it one day and another interpretation of it the next day or from article to article, even within the affidavit. I don't know if anyone noticed this, and I think this may be where some of the confusion is coming into. The first time in the arrest affidavit that dates are mentioned, it says Tuesday, November 22nd. About 2 paragraphs down, it says Tuesday, November 23rd. So, hold on. Come on, calendar. Get up there. You'll notice that in November, Tuesday was the 22nd. And so I think events are getting mixed up between the 22nd and the 23rd in part because of the information that was in the arrest affidavit. We'll go back over that. I'll do that when I pull up that list of places that Christopher Palmiter had worked. And we'll look at that too, because the affidavit actually says Tuesday, November 22nd in one spot and Tuesday, November 23rd in another paragraph. So that could be part of why these timelines are not getting nailed down as accurately as we would like for them to be. Okay, it says Madalena used to live in the same town as the grandfather, but neighbors told TMV she and her mother moved to Moldova's capital city, Chisinau, after her parents got divorced. So Madeline's mother was married to Madeline's father at one point in time, and they got divorced. I wonder why. Diana didn't take her husband's last name. I know that's probably not important in the scope of things, but I wonder why she didn't take his name. All right, her mother and daughter eventually immigrated to the U.S., hindering investigation. At a court hearing on Tuesday, a judge said Kozakari has, quote, hindered the investigation and only, quote, begrudgingly, unquote, reported her daughter's disappearance. So the judge is saying that the mother is actively hindering the investigation, which, hold on, let me close these doors. Okay, so the judge says that the mother is actively hindering the investigation. I believe that that's going to be a reference to not telling them things, holding back on information, possibly even blatantly outright lying about some things. And I think that, again, is going to go back to the whole foreign wife, under thumb, controlled by husband, alienated from her support system. Now, when you put that together with several articles that we went over that said Diana felt like her husband put her family in danger. And I can't get over that one. She keeps saying she feels like he put her family in danger. Not our family, her family. So what really is going on with that? What's going on with this dude right here? This dude, Christopher Palmiter. All right. The next case I want to talk about from this year. I just want to put this beautiful kid up here because her story was so sad. Athena Strand Like that was just such a pointless, senseless, just I'm not one to quickly put anything on the devil, but in this case, I'm gonna say it wasn't nothing but the devil. That wasn't nothing but the devil. This kid is out in her yard, and a FedEx truck driver decides to snatch her up, abuse her, and take her life. Like, what are the chances of that happening? I would think that a person in their company van would be afraid because FedEx and UPS, they have cameras in some of their vehicles. Maybe he knew that his vehicle didn't have a camera in it. Maybe he was so caught up in fantasizing about whatever it was that he wanted to do that he just didn't care. He wasn't even thinking about a camera. But this poor baby right here, this beautiful child right here with so much potential and so much life ahead of her to live, just senselessly taken away. So I just wanted to take a minute and remember her before we go into the new year and to remember her family, and everything that they might be going through, everything that they're feeling, the major loss that they've suffered. You know, they're going to be going through some. They do have truck video. Yes, indeed. I know some of those trucks have got video in it. I am so glad. I am so glad that truck had video. So now there is no way for him to try to squirm his way out of this. I think we're going to find out that his whole he accidentally hit her with the truck is just a lie. I think this was nothing but that demon saw this beautiful child and he had to snuff out her light. That plain and simple. But Athena Strand, keep her family in your prayers because they're about to be going through a whole lot of firsts. This was their first Christmas without her, their first New Year's without her. It's going to be the first Valentine's Day where she's not needing cards to take to school to pass out, and first Easter's where they're not picking out beautiful dresses and cute Easter baskets, and so many firsts that are going to be missed over this coming year. They're really going to need our support, whether it's just in prayer, good vibes, mojo, whatever you send, whatever you believe that's positive, send it their way because they need that support. So, the boy in the suitcase who stole so many of our hearts this year, we found that someone had dumped a child in the woods. Where is he? Had dumped a child in the woods in a very bespoke suitcase. And all the months that it took for them to identify him. The fact that it turned out that it was his own mother and her friend, girlfriend, associate, whatever that is, I don't know, who stuffed this beautiful child into a suitcase and threw him in the woods as if he were nothing. Cairo Jordan. But I am so thankful for the police, the FBI agents, the forensics teams, everyone who played a hand in giving this baby back his name and his humanity. I thank God that they all are in the positions that they're in so that at least the people who truly care for Cairo can now be able to mourn him properly, bury him properly if they choose to move him, begin dealing with their grief and their loss. Because the family didn't even know. They lost him months before they even found out. The so-called mother. The so-called mother is still on the run. 4 minutes. 4 minutes and counting. Um, yeah. The so-called mother who could do this to her own child and just throw him away, especially since the autopsy is saying that it wasn't foul play. It was an electrolyte imbalance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that whole thing. Her instead of her giving the child to her parents or a cousin or something, she's all over Facebook talking about how he's a demon and he's possessed and he's 100-year-old spirit. Yeah, I remember all that stuff because I couldn't believe how crazy that ain't nothing but some crazy. And so let's just remember Cairo. I'm glad that he got his name back. I'm glad that he did not have to go through ages and ages and ages of being Angel Doe. I am grateful to the community that adopted this unknown child and showed him love, caring, respect, and dignity in the way he was laid to rest. They didn't let him go to some potter's field with a wooden cross. They gave him a proper burial. They gave him a eulogy. They gave him a temporary name, Angel. And so I'm grateful to them for that because that is more than his sick mother did for him. Dawn Coleman, the mother's friend, girlfriend, partner, whatever, was arrested. And as we can see in this paragraph, she made her first court appearance already, where she was represented by the public defender. And we're going to follow this case this year and see what justice brings for Cairo's monsters. Okay, and his mother's name is Dejan. That's what I was looking for. Dejan Ludi Anderson. She is still on the run. She is still not been arrested. I looked it up today. She's still out there somewhere. So after I get off this live, I'm gonna look up the picture of her so that I can like make a flyer with her face and put on the community wall because it makes no sense that she's still running around out there. Somebody knows where she is. Somebody knows exactly where she is. Someone is in contact with her. Someone knows her regular haunts. Someone knows where she goes to make her money, what she does, blah blah blah. So we're gonna plaster her face all over the internet this year until she's found. And I did have it pulled up to see if I can get an image of her. I want to show this image real quick in the last minute or so. Here we go. There she is. And I believe both of these are mugshot pictures. Happy New Year! It is now 12 o'clock on the dot. 12 o'clock on the dot. I hear all the fireworks popping outside. Like the whole neighborhood is doing fireworks. All right. Cody Bigsby, another baby who captured all of our hearts in 2022. This beautiful, so cute little boy reported missing on January 31st by his father. And then the story becomes that familiar disappeared in the middle of the night, fully dressed with shoes on. Lord have mercy. And Cody is still nowhere to be found. His father still has not given any inkling of where he could possibly be. His father's side of the family more concerned with his violation of his civil rights and him being locked up than they are about where this child is. The father's family did a press conference that we all remember where they were lined up at the table supposedly to announce a $25,000 reward for information leading to the safe return of Cody Bigsby. And it turned from a reward for Cody Bigsby press conference to a oh pity us, oh my poor brother Corey Bigsby is in jail. He's so mistreated, so misunderstood, and they forgot all about the baby who was missing. I'm gonna play this. Well, no, I'm not because I'm not sharing the sound. I forgot I'm not sharing sound. So what I want to do is I want to pull up a picture of oh come on Google. And there he is, Cody Beasley, forgotten by the family who should be advocating for him, but thankfully he has us. So this little boy touched our hearts almost exactly a year ago. The end of this month will make 1 year that this baby stole our hearts.
Hey, give me a safety pin. Bobby pin.
I don't think I have it.
Give me a safety pin. I know you got this.
I have no clue where a bobby pin is. Hold on, guys.
Oh, you're lying.
Sorry about that. They didn't realize I was still live. But yeah, this little boy stole our hearts, and let's hope that in 2023 we'll get what he will get what he did not get in 2022, which is found. What, baby? Go tell Gabby take your monster toe off. I'm gonna have to go here in a second. So the last one that we're going to do is going to be Harmony Montgomery. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll do that another time. But this one, it's going to be Harmony Montgomery. We all know Harmony's case, bounced around in foster care to parent to foster care to parent to foster care to parent to now nobody knows. Nothing on me. What's wrong with you? And yeah. Harmony Montgomery, one of the cutest kids you've ever seen in your life. And all we really want to know is just what happened to her. Where did he put her? You know, bring her back so that she can be properly laid to rest, so that the members of her family and circle who did really love and care for her can get some closure. The brother, I just have to acknowledge her baby brother who loved his big sister so much. And if it were not for a baby brother's love, no one would have known she was missing for a very long time to come, because no one was looking for her. Everyone had other agendas. But her little brother was looking for her. And I'm so glad that his adoptive fathers cared enough about him to start asking questions about her so that her situation could be brought to light, so that those who perpetrated evil against her could be brought to justice. Her father, Adam, sitting in jail now with charges, the beginning of the process of getting justice for Harmony Montgomery. And it is now time for my little ones to go to bed because they have seen the new year and they got to scream Happy New Year and all that good stuff like that. And now it's bedtime. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go make Bubby go to sleep. That's what I'm about to do. Happy New Year. Happy belated Christmas. Thanks for hanging out with me. And let's just see what this new year brings. Good night.